Sunny ways, my friends. Sunny ways.
Your 16 seconds are up. I'm going to ask you again because nobody believes you when you say you don't know how much money your family has got from the wheat group. You had a month to look into that. You knew you were going to testify here. Again, how much money total have your brother, mother, and spouse received from this organization? How much?
That information has been publicly shared, but I will highlight.
Well, then tell me what it is.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles sort of thing. Sorry?
The servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
Where's the funds?
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean? Oh, Justin, you're awake. You made it. Have a seat. Have a coffee. You need some. Wakey time.
Let's cut that Disney Plus subscription. So we cut it. It's only $13.99 a month that we're saving, but every little bit helps.
A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody. Yeah, that's all that's coming off. There's nothing else coming off, yeah. I'm not Justin Trudeau here. Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
Knockout! What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Welcome to Friday Night Fringe here on the channel. Joining me, as always, on Friday nights, the very beautiful Mrs. Fringe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show. It's good to
Thank you.
have you sitting under us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to discuss tonight. We're going to get more slippery than Justin Trudeau with Diddy's baby oil. So chime those LFGs in the chats. Get those thumbs ups in. Let's see if we can break a viewer record here tonight because we have a lot to go over. Chime in. Let's get a roll call going. Let me know where you're watching from, and let's see if we can get somebody from every province in the country here in the stream. I'll try to get to everybody as quickly as I can. Hopefully we can cover everyone. We've got wonderful loyal viewer Princess Thickness joining us once again from Montreal. Welcome into the stream. Great to have you here. We've got Julia with the LFGs from Ontario coming in. We've got Chris coming in from Ontario as well. We've got Brock Obama, not Barack Obama, but Brock Obama coming in from Vancouver. Canadian guy jumping in from Scarborough, Ontario. I have to highlight Canadian guy's $5 super chat that came in before the stream. If Trudeau had a mustache in this picture on the thumbnail, he'd look like Turd Ferguson from Celebrity Jeopardy. Please don't insult Norm Macdonald that much. It would a little bit, but let me get back up here because I missed a whole bunch of people in the roll call. Oh no, as soon as I went over to the super chat, I missed out the roll call. Where are we? Guys, I gotta get back. Hang on, I'm almost getting there. I really hate this software because it does this. Hang on, we're almost there. There's Princess Thickness chiming in. There's the London, Ontario's. Here we go. We're caught up. We've got Jamal coming in from Seoul, South Korea. Welcome in to the stream. We've got Canada RV joining us once again from Ontario. Welcome in. We've got Jacques coming in from Koopa's Casing, Ontario. Hit that like button, ladies and gents. Let's get those viewers up. We're almost at 400 viewers in the stream currently. Let's go. Wild Nature Farm coming in from Alberta. Megan RP joining us once again, Windsor, Ontario. Mystical coming in from Calgary. Help Tom Clark wants me to engage with him in the tub. Slip out of there with some baby oil. Let's go. Alan Adams coming in from Vanity, BC. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. Carl Steinbach telling me I'm sponge worthy. Well, yikes. Welcome in, Carl. It's great to have you here. Danny Gallant joining us once again. LFG's from Devon, Alberta. We've got the Tune of Lee coming in from Edmonton. Great to have you here. We've got Adam Johnson coming in from Kitchener, Ontario. Terriel, coming in from Ontario as well. Karen Lasak, member of the Patriots Club, coming in. Love you guys. Happy Friday. Welcome into the stream. Billy Mustang coming in from Walmart, BC. Welcome in. We got Debbie coming in from Lloydminster, Alberta. Lucas C. in Burnaby, BC. It's great to have you here. Diana coming in from Alberta. Great to have you in again. Got Carol and Gerald coming in from Calgary, Alberta. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Flying Beaver coming in from Winterburn, Alberta. Jonathan Von Haas coming in from Windsor, Ontario. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Angela chiming in from Alberta. Mark Rice coming in Dryden, Ontario. We've got Edward coming in from Consort, Alberta with the LFGs. Welcome in. Darren Hiscock coming in from Sherwood Park. Fight for Freedom, Halifax, Nova Scotia. We've got Bam Bam coming in from Edmonton, Alberta. Mary Louise from Vancouver, BC. Carson Sexsmith. Hola from Porno Viagra. Welcome into the stream. Great to have you. I said hola on purpose. It's hola, but welcome in. It's great to have you.
You also said porno. So.
porno Viagra. Well, that's always what I call it. Dilligaff Brothers Contracting coming in from Surrey, BC. Welcome into the stream. A604 coming in from BC as well. We've got Stardust Shorty coming in from Moncton, New Brunswick. Welcome into the stream. Roman Patriot reminding you guys, smash those likes, guys. Get those likes up. Let's see how big we can juice this stream. Princess Thickness with the hi to Mrs. Fringe. We've got Brandon Johnson in from BC. Kale coming in from Nova Scotia. Radio Reaction, Ajax, Ontario. Bella coming in from Windsor, Ontario. Mavis Gibson, Kentucky, and Trump all the way. Harris is out. Well, I sure hope so. Steve Blaas coming in saying, stick those thumbs out. Hitchhiking ain't no illegal in here. All right, get those thumbs up, ladies and gents. We've got Albert coming in from Trois-Rivières, Quebec. We've got Ingrid Stewart joining in with her husband Charlie, again from Okotoks, Alberta, with the LFGs. Welcome back in. We've got Steve from Fairview, Alberta coming in. Karen from the Patriots Club coming in. Aurelia, Ontario. Welcome in. Storm, I'm not going to say what that says, but yes, welcome in. It's great to have you in. Everybody's talking about being sponge worthy. Let's go. Linda Crow coming in from Lake Saskatchewan. Jackie Richardson coming in from Elk Island Park, Alberta. Welcome in. We got Harley T coming in from Redcliffe. Welcome in. Jordan from Kamloops, BC. We've got Mike TV Dub coming in from Wacko Wob Canoes, Winnipeg. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Peter coming in from Central BC. We got Peter coming in from Central BC. We got Jancor coming in from Ottawa, Ontario. Welcome in. Bear from Galtoys, Newfoundland. I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. Where are we here? I got to get caught up. We got to get caught up. To Drink the Fish coming in from Lions Head, Ontario. Welcome in. David Murphy coming in from Quispamsis, New Brunswick. I'm sorry. I'm Quispamsis. I'm sorry if I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not familiar with a lot of towns in New Brunswick, but welcome into the stream. I apologize for the butchering of your town. OAO coming in from Dedmonton. Welcome in. It's good to have you here. MK Archives from Stansted, Quebec, actually watching from Mexico. Well, welcome in. It's great to have you here. What we got here? We got Mike coming in from Sudbury. David coming in from Vancouver, BC. Master of Snatch has entered the building, ladies and gentlemen. He's in the chats. Welcome into Snatch. It's great to have him here. We've got Danny Tucker joining us from Edmonton. Who else have we got? Who else is chiming in on the old roll call here? Shirley coming in from Lindsay, Ontario. We got Debbie from Vancouver Island. what do we got here? Are we? I think we're gonna try to get caught up. Look at all these people we got missed. I'm gonna get the last few here. We got Mila coming in from London, Ontario. We've got Kaylee, member of the Patriots Club, coming in from Moncton, New Brunswick. We got Len from Alberta. Welcome in. We got Kim from Windsor, Ontario. And that about wraps it up. Let's get into the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the goods.
A lot to talk about tonight.
Trudeau's Akami says he's in here as well. Trudeau's Akami, welcome into the stream. Great to have you here. Peter says, hey, thanks for that Peter Griffin impression, Derek. You know what really grinds my gears? Nothing better than a good old Peter on a Friday. Let's get into it, because American culture is alive and vibrant, especially when it comes to Justin Trudeau. Of course, if you looked on the good old title of the stream, know that Justin Trudeau, of course, made Canada a national embarrassment again.
Shocking.
Shocking.
It's unlike him.
He was in the United States this week, and of course, he was on Stephen Colbert, the wokest talk show on the planet. I used to like Stephen Colbert back in the day. We used to watch the Colbert Report.
We used to, yep.
When it was on, back when Stephen Colbert was actually funny, before he was bought up by mainstream media, I guess.
Yeah, once he got into the whole politics thing, we were just kind of done.
Well, the Colbert Report was always politics, but the thing about the Colbert Report was it was Comedy Central. It wasn't
partisan.
Yeah, it was a little more neutral on the scale. It was more about making fun of politicians,
yes,
than essentially sending a message like you see today on Jimmy Kimmel. What's the other Jimmy Fallon?
All these celebrities.
He's getting all these guys. We don't even watch these shows anymore. And I used to watch quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Until they got woke. Well, let's take a look at what happened with Justin Trudeau on Colbert, because boy, did he ever sell out Canada. We're going to take a look at this clip. I'm going to play this for you guys, and well, judge for yourselves, ladies and gents. Let's take.
Great meeting you. It must be nice being in front of a dumb American audience who applaud you because they have no idea how hated and incompetent you actually are. So welcome to America.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Now, so do all Canadians hate you?
Yes, they do.
Good. Just
Yes,
want to
they
make
do.
sure you know. Well, we do.
Might be part of why I'm here.
Exactly. Is that because you literally shut down people's bank accounts in 2022 like a dictator might?
Well, as many know, my real father is Fidel Castro, one of the greatest authoritarians of the 20th century.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. No, it's true. You see, my father was the prime minister during the 1970s, and my mom wasn't a huge fan of his, similar to how all Canadians hate me. So she was cheating on him quite a bit. She would hang out at Studio 54 here in New York City. She banged Mick Jagger famously. And shortly before I was born, she snuck down to Havana to get smashed by my biological father, Fidel. And then I was born 9 months later. Just look at a side-by-side photo of me and Fidel Castro. The resemblance is uncanny. That's where I think I get my authoritarian nature from.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Comedian Shane Gillis just performed in Toronto last week, and while doing an impersonation of Drumpf, he called you the F slur that is generally reserved for homosexuals, but truly is more appropriate for someone like you, and received a lengthy applause break.
I mean, people in Canada really hate me. I'd be surprised if my approval rating was over 20% at this point.
So what's next for you? There's an election in Canada coming up next year, right?
They're trying to call one sooner, as again, people really hate me from coast to coast. My plan is to delay until next year and then get absolutely smoked in the election, and then focus on my true passion of doing various types of brown and blackface. I really want to explore the medium.
Dictator Justin Trudeau, everyone. We'll be right back after the break with the guy that sold Diddy all his baby oil.
There you go. Justin Trudeau making his appearance on Colbert this week. I don't know about you guys, but I mean,
I definitely would have watched it.
I think the ratings would have gone up higher if that had been the interview we actually got from Stephen Colbert. Now, I'm curious who the guy is for their sponsor who sold Diddy all of his baby oil. Right? Speaking of which, I'm going to get a little bit off of politics because I want to talk a little bit about that, because we don't cover those subjects here on the channel. But there are people asking, you know, what is the deal with Diddy and the baby oil and everything? If you don't know what's going on, basically what's happened in Hollywood is that Hollywood has uncovered, well, their pedo ring, their PDF files are exploding.
Yep.
In Hollywood, and Diddy is at the center. They're saying that this is bigger than Epstein at this point. These parties that went on in Sean Combs's home with people essentially assaulted, drugged, forced into certain acts that they didn't want to commit. We all have seen Justin Bieber recently exposing some of that, talking about trauma.
Yep.
And they found apparently gallons and gallons of baby oil
Thousands
in the house from the
of
Trudeau
bottles
from the
of
Trudeau
baby oil.
compound.
Yeah.
Because Trudeau doesn't need them in his bathtub anymore. What shocks me about the whole thing, and what I really wanted to talk about just briefly, because again, we're going to get back into politics, because we were talking about this like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Just how disgusting Hollywood is. The actions that go on by these PDF files in Hollywood, that it ruins entertainment. It ruins. There are so many actors that I like. There's so many musicians that we like that we've stopped listening to. We've stopped watching. Recently, we stopped listening to Tenacious D and Jack Black because of Kyle Gass's remarks about Trump during his attempted pew pew event. It has nothing to do with their political stance. It's the fact that it's so childish. Their behavior is like a 5-year-old.
Shows their true person.
It shows that they think that because they make millions of dollars, that they have a say in how the common folks who work for a living feel about political issues.
Yep.
These are people who make millions and millions of dollars to exercise their perverted natures.
Yep.
Get away with them because they're elitist. And whenever they talk about the names, whenever they talk about these lists leaking now, it's like I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to know who's involved, because it's like I'll probably never watch a movie again. I'll never watch
Just a diddle
anything. The diddler. He is the diddler. Diddle Diddy. There you go. He's turned into the diddler. Batman needs to investigate the diddler, but he might slip on the floor. It really shocks me when you talk about Canadians like Justin Bieber. Again, I am not a fan of Justin Bieber. I don't like his music. But what concerns me, and what we talked about, are parents who essentially took their kid to Los Angeles and rented him out for a paycheck. That said to guys like Sean Combs, take our kid for the weekend, no questions asked. Where do we sign for our money?
Yep.
And the trauma that you can see. And now Justin Bieber hasn't come out and said anything specifically about Diddy, but you've said there's things in his music that say so. Again, I don't listen to his music.
A line, he lost himself at a Diddy party.
Okay, so you can also see there was an interview where he's talking about friends of his. There was another female singer he was talking about, where he said he feels bad for her and he understands what she's going through. And if she ever wants to reach out, he'll listen.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see the hurt, the trauma that's going on in his face. These
kids,
overflowing amounts of PDF files in Hollywood, have destroyed people's youths, people's lives. When I hear stories from friends like Theo Fleury about the things that went on when he was a teenager playing hockey.
Well, from mentors, from people that you should be looking up to and respecting, and they're taking advantage of it.
It's really shocking that all of this goes on. And then again, when guys like Sean Combs are caught, I shouldn't say caught, when somebody has enough of their nonsense that they out them, that he's the only one to go to jail.
Yep.
They're not arresting all of Hollywood. They're not going out and getting everybody.
Look at Epstein. He's, the big giant list. And
they target and it's only one person who pays the price. Everybody else turns around and says, "Oh, I had no idea. Look at Usher's Twitter account was completely demolished. Every tweet was erased." And he says, "Oh, guys, I got hacked." Here's the thing about a hack on a Twitter account. When a celebrity gets their Twitter account hacked, it's used for mining Bitcoin and things like that. They don't erase people's tweet histories. Pink was another one, the musician. I don't know if she's a man or a woman. I can't tell sometimes. But Pink, who also assaulted Justin Bieber on stage
when he was a child.
Her tweets have been deleted now. Her history's gone. I think 3 tweets remain from 10 years ago or something on her Twitter profile that were talking about some kind of charity. But it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting that all this happens. Canadian guy with a $5 super chat. I think Carl Winslow and Al Bundy are the only TV dads who haven't gotten into trouble. Stephen Collins and Bill Cosby were two of the worst. Yeah, I remember the whole controversy around Stephen Collins. In fact, it was so funny at the time. If you don't know Stephen Collins was he played a preacher on the television show Seventh Heaven, where it was a show about a religious family, and this guy was involved with some shady stuff with kids. It's Pink is Transformer. I had no idea. I have no idea. Taylor Swift came out in favor of Kamala. Yes, I'm aware, and it cost her over $100 million. I'm curious if Taylor Swift is going to get mentioned, because I know she's been at Taylor's been at Sean's parties as well. So again, I'm curious what's happened with her. Stinger says they're all laying low. Yes, they are. Ingrid Stewart, Theo Fleury is a very courageous individual to stand up against this disgusting BS. It's sad because I've spent a fair amount of time with Theo, and we've had him on the show. I've talked to him personally. I've been to his shows. We talk after the shows, and not only is he a great friend, but at the same time, when you hear look, he's told me some stories about his NHL days, and I've heard some things that would make your head spin, but it's more like they're funny stories. But when it comes to the trauma that went on, when you read Theo's books and you hear about what actually happened between him and other colleagues, it's so horrifying to think that these mentors, these people that are supposed to be getting these kids ahead in life, are taking advantage of them for their own perversions. It's sick. Roman Patriot with a $2 super chat. You and Mrs. Fringe rock. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's mostly me. I'm awesome.
Debbie saying, I hope Taylor gets exposed. I do too. In fact,
I hope they all do.
It's funny because if we look at Bam Bam's comment, Taylor Swift is a I can't use that word, but legs open just like your nearest 7-Eleven. It's funny because I made the same comment when we were talking about, because our daughter likes Taylor Swift's music.
Yeah.
And I said, how many desks do you think she's been under to get ahead in her career? And you say, well, she's so smart. She knows a lot in business. I think her business people know a lot in business. When it comes to Taylor, I think she's just ready to sell for whoever gives her the check. That's the nature of that business, it seems, is that you'll smile and, do whatever you're told.
I like to think positively.
I know you like to think positive. I'm the same with politics.
Bury my head in the sand.
I'm the same with politics. I'm a little naive when it comes to things. I try to convince myself it's not like everybody says it was. But it does lead you to ask the question of, George Carlin once had a line in Jay and Silent Bob where he says, look, he was playing a hitchhiker, and he says, look, if I got to get across the country and I don't have any money and I got to hitch a ride, he says, I'll take a shot in the mouth to get across the country. It's no different than somebody like Taylor Swift. Do you want to be working in a McDonald's, or do you want to be the star on stage? Right? I'm sure they think about it at some point. And when they're pushed into a corner like that, Canadian guy with a $5 super chat. I'm sometimes disgusted to be a Raptors fan. The guy who scored our first basket ever is a PDF file named Alvin Robertson. Yeah, I've heard about those things as well. Morgan saying good business doesn't mean a good person, though, and that's true. That's true. I saw somebody had a great comment in here. Luca with, didn't Mel Gibson try to expose stuff that was stifled quickly? Yes. Anytime any of these guys try to go, Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent,
yep,
has been out in the media now saying, I've warned you guys about Diddy for years, and nobody wanted to acknowledge it. Nobody wanted to do anything. And that's the funny thing, is that when these people come out, nobody wants to believe them. They just,
I mean, the Coreys as well, way back when, were
Corey Haim and Corey Feldman.
Yeah, they were trying to, put things out there as well. Nobody listened.
No. It's just parents pawning off their kids for a paycheck, as far as I'm concerned. Sean Gaw with a $5 super chat. According to redacted news, U.S. bank account owners are involved in PDF files. People we pay our mortgages to, but these kids don't have a birth certificate. Mentioned 20. Sorry, I don't know if there was a spelling mispronunciation in there, but I get what you're trying to, what you're saying. Lucas saying Corey Feldman being another. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Lynn coming in saying new documentary Line in the Sand from O'Keefe Media coming October 10th on Tucker's website. Be sure to tune in. It's all about what's going on the border with children. I'm definitely going to check that out. That's fantastic. Randy Quaid tried to also even wanted asylum in Vancouver. Yeah. A lot of it's crazy. It's insane. With that being said, let's move back into politics. I wanted to talk about it briefly, just because
it hurts my heart.
All the memes are going around about the baby oil, and people are talking about the diddler, and all these things are coming out. But what's surprising to me is that Diddy, the diddler, has been denied bail, which makes me question: do you guys think he's even going to make it to trial?
They have a lot more on him than what they're saying.
I don't know. We'll see. When it comes to the U.S., though, I did want to highlight a good moment, because people always say, we never get good news in the country. But one thing that came out of the U.S., while people are talking about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris as we get into the U.S. election that's coming up, I found this video on Twitter. Caught on tape, Donald Trump was busted handing out money to voters to cover groceries at a campaign stop. This is a clear violation of election laws. Somebody, again, who's got their butt in a knot. Look at Donald Trump here doing the right thing. Keep in mind, this man never took a salary when he was president.
And this isn't taxpayer money this is his pocket.
This is his money. And he's not trying to, he didn't say, vote for me. He didn't do anything wrong. When you think about Justin Trudeau's scandals, does this look like a scandal to you? Look what he's doing.
Here, it's going to go down a little bit. It just went down $100.
Thank you so much.
We'll do that for you from the White House, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye. Nice seeing you.
So he gives a lady $100.
Well, he's paying one woman and then he's going to another till for another.
Yeah, so he's handing out money, just showing that, hey, I'm rich enough, we're gonna take the cost down for you, and then when I get in office, we're gonna help make it a little bit more affordable for you. That's not asking for votes. That's not a violation of ethics laws. The hilarity that ensues from all of this, that people want to complain about Donald Trump. It's a violation of laws. Look at what happened with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. How many violations do you think they have in their campaign trail?
Oh, so many, but they're better at hiding it. Trump just doesn't care.
Storm saying Trump's a good man, and Luca.
Trump was caught with files in his residence, right? And it was like an uproar, and it was like, oops, I forgot. I didn't mean to take those home. But Biden had boxes and boxes and boxes of files.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's okay. Don't let it happen again.
Janet asking, do you think Sparkle Socks would do that for any Canadians? Absolutely not. We pay for his groceries. It's the other way around. We should be at the grocery store giving our money to Justin Trudeau, saying, here, keep it going.
That's what he'd be doing. Whoa.
There we go.
$20 is $20.
Romanian Patriot saying the left is blindsided and they do not see all the good stuff Trump does do. Well, that's the problem. And it's funny because anytime somebody has told me that, Donald Trump's a racist, Donald Trump has all these terrible things. Well, what did he do that's racist? What has he done that's racist? And people say, well, he ran a business a certain way. And I always try to point out to people, do you realize that Donald Trump doesn't own Trump Tower? Donald Trump doesn't manage his entire business. He doesn't run his entire company. There's a board of directors that do certain things that they believe is better for their financial gain. Now, it's not to say that Trump is innocent of anything.
No.
But it's to say that it's not like he sits in an office.
Man.
He doesn't sit in an office and say, listen, I don't like Mexicans. Get out there, take their properties, seize them up. Let's sell them on the market. Let's get a profit for millions and millions of dollars. That's not how it goes. That's not how Donald Trump works. It's so silly.
Oh, good Lord.
These people, if somebody ever wants to come to me with a fact, like I've spoken to some people in America. In fact, a good friend of the channel, the Rexer Show, who was talking about coming on here to talk politics because he's very anti-Trump and he's allowed to be. I have no issues with him having his viewpoints. But he's also somebody
where you can have a conversation with him and he's okay with your opinion.
You can agree to disagree.
Yes.
And
it's not fighting. Well, you need to,
That's where politics need to go,
yes.
I think, is that you hear each other's points. Now, I've also mentioned to people like Rexer, I don't know enough about US and their inner workings to really make a judgment on certain things, But anytime somebody says to me, well, Trump is terrible, how so? Please point out some things that he did that were terrible. When it comes to what he actually did for America, I don't see anything beyond the fact that he created jobs, that the dollar was strongest when he was in office. Their stocks were never higher. He got amazing business deals done in terms of tariffs. You think about how Canada got screwed over on their soft lumber. I mean, it was terrible for us, but it was good for America. It was good for Trump. Trump got the best deals done. It's
People wanted to work with him.
Canadian guy with the $5 super chat, getting rid of the Mexicans is something Mr. Garrison would do. Can we get rid of all the Mexicans? Thank you, Mr. Hyatt. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Canadian guy. I appreciate that. That's now if it was Mr. Mackey, he'd be in there. You can't get rid of the Mexicans. Okay. Lynn saying the Canadian dollar was also much stronger when Trump was in office. I want him back to save the world. There you go. Well, again, this is and Master of Snatch chiming in on a really good note. He didn't start any new wars. That's an amazing quality. Think about anytime somebody mentions Barack Obama and says how great Obama was. I go, how many bombs did he drop? How many people did he massacre in his presidency?
Well, I mean, all the kids and stuff that were separated at the border from their parents, that was Obama, not Trump.
Yeah, no, they tried to make it look like Trump.
They tried to make it because they found it under his reign, but that was Obama.
Yeah, it was Obama's policies that were enacted while Trump was taking office.
Yes,
and they tried to say, look at Trump separating these parents from their children. It's terrible, and it's like, well, but those are Obama's policies. Those were Democratic policies that were put in place, not Republican. But at the end of the day, you got to secure your borders.
Yeah.
We talk about it in Canada all the time. If you guys watched our video today, you'll see that we've got people fishing in our rivers, taking fish illegally that are meant for stocking and pumping up fish numbers of salmon. People are poaching. And then they play stupid when they're caught on camera like, oh, we don't understand English. We didn't know. Just ignore them. And Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize. Yes. Look at Joe Biden. Look at the millions and millions of dollars worth of military equipment that he left in Afghanistan. They just left it all there and they undid all the work that Trump did.
Yeah.
In all the periods, Biden has never been in power in one form or another. Millions of people have died. Yeah. Yeah. Where is it? MT saying this country's overflowing with people. We need to expand our cities. That's part of the problem in Canada right now is like the major cities are getting swallowed up with woke ideologies. This DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, 15-minute cities, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. We can't get away from it.
No.
I mean, we can't even get away with it.
No, we
away
can't.
from it. We're trying to get away from it.
Nobody wants in.
It's a crazy time in this country. People, I see it all the time, whether it's my comment section, other channels' comment sections. If I'm watching news sites, people saying, even on Twitter, I don't like Canada anymore. I don't want to live here. I don't want to be a part of this.
People are straying away from the big cities. They are leaving.
People are fed up with big cities. And we see it all the time. Like even when we went to the bank to talk about our mortgage.
Yep.
And she said, the young crowds are trying to get in while your generation, middle age, are trying to get out. They're done. They're fed up with the cities. They're done with big cities. Debbie's saying, well, look, we have Mr. Tampon running our country. Yeah. Has the gang activity slowed down in Calgary? No, it's significantly worse. It's funny because Justin Trudeau talks about taking away everybody's firearms. And when you look at
legal ones,
all the firearms that are seized in Calgary, they're all from gang activity and they're all coming in from places like Korea, from China.
But him doing that is not going to stop them from coming in.
You've got all these Asian gangs in Calgary that are running amok. And anytime that you see any kind of violence with gang violence coming out of Calgary, it's always, and I hate bringing it up, but it's always that one quadrant of the city where they all reside. And it's like, if you just got them out of here, anybody who violates the law, anybody who doesn't want to get with our way of life, tell them, we're sorry, it's not going to work out. You're going to have to go home. A lot of these numbers would go down in general.
Yep.
There was a guy, and it's funny because his name was Jackie Tran. The Tran family run a huge crime syndicate in Canada, or Calgary. Jackie Tran was in and out of court for ages because he had the money to pay a high-profile lawyer through all of their drug and weapon dealings. He was finally deported after, I think, 10 years or so of the police trying to get him out of here. And that's just one individual. When you come to Canada, when you go to any country and you're a visitor there and you're trying to move there, you're trying to get your citizenship, it should be a very due process statement to say that if you break the law while you're trying to get your citizenship before you become a Canadian citizen, you're out.
Yeah, null and void.
No going to our prisons, no mooching off of our justice system, no using our lawyers. It's just immediate expulsion, extradition, and your country can handle you with whatever laws you'd broken here. They can decide what to do with you. That's the way it should go. Because I'll tell you right now, if you come from somewhere like Singapore and you break the law in Canada, you will not want to go home and deal with their justice system.
No.
And what happens to you. Brian Watson, member of the Patriots Club. I'm in Wasaga Beach. It's a small town, now big and everybody wants out. Yeah. Well, that's the problem with Calgary. And I know Wasaga Beach is significantly smaller than Calgary, and it's a silly comparison. But anytime I talk to anybody around here, like we go to the local park with our kids, everybody's speaking Russian.
Well, I mean, Steve is the funny little white boy.
Our kid is the token white kid at our park in our neighborhood. And it didn't used to be that. And it has nothing to do with race. It's just that it shows you just how many people are coming in, and nobody at that park speaks a lick of English.
No.
They're all talking in their foreign tongues. There's no English being spoken. And it's part of the reason that we said we have to move. What are we going to raise our kids in? Our kids are going to meet people they can't even communicate with.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when our kids want to get into the dating world? Daphne Devine gifting 5 unacceptable Fringe Patriots Club memberships. Daphne, thank you so much. That's so appreciated. I really appreciate it. Marie saying Trudeau's made the immigration system too easy. Anybody can get into this country now. That's part of the problem.
Well, and they want to. I mean, I want to be an immigrant of Canada. The free handouts alone.
Daphne putting in, it's a lot of Ukrainian around here and they're not interested in learning English. That's exactly it. Chris with a $6.99 super chat. Empires are ruled by emperors. Kingdoms are ruled by kings. And here we are, a country. Yes. Hey, that's you know what?
Like that.
I love that statement. I love that statement. It's somebody had a great term in the comment section on today's video. They called immigrants gimmiggrants.
Yeah.
Because all they want is gimme, gimme, gimme. And I like that term, gimmiggrants. I think we're gonna stick with that one on the channel. Yoink, we're gonna take that one. But it's true. People are coming here. We've seen reports from people like Harrison Faulkner that talk about Brampton, and they've talked about even in the Maritimes of the temporary foreign workers that are wanting to stay, that are protesting to stay. Justin Trudeau having no discourse but to send them back, or a large handful of them back.
Which I'm sure hurts his heart.
He's trying to send enough back to make it look like he's doing something, but he's doing nothing. They've spoken with a landed Indian immigrant who has his passport, who shows very well that he's not a Fed, he's not brought in for any other means than to expose the truth. And he said, sorry, there's all these schools, there's all these setups to come into the country that they're not even actual legal schools. They just bring everybody in and start immigration documents, how to get your citizenship, how to vote. It's all about voting. They're trying to fix the system.
Yep.
And Pierre Poilievre, if you think Pierre Poilievre isn't going to benefit from this, when he's prime minister, they're all going to benefit. It's not to say that Pierre Poilievre is going to keep up the same open door policies, but what you're going to see is that whoever comes to the country, they don't know anything about our political system. They don't know anything about who's popular, who has better policies, what affects Canadians. They vote for whoever gave them their citizenship. That's why Justin Trudeau wants to scrape the bottom of the barrel, because he'll just take whatever he can get.
Yep.
The tune of Lee saying we should shut the border down for 5 years so we can fix our problems and support all people better. I've said the same things. I'm all for migrants.
Well, we should keep our money in Canada too.
Well, of course we should. But I've said for years that take care of us, and then once we're stable, then we take other people.
Yeah.
Allison saying, what will Pierre do about immigrants? I don't know, because here's the thing. He said he's going to do something about immigration. I have to put faith in him actually doing something about immigration.
And what that is, we
But
don't know.
we've seen politicians, again, once bitten, twice shy. We've seen politicians promise the world when it comes time to run. And then when they get into office, it comes down to, are you actually going to fulfill what you said you were going to do? Actions speak louder than words. I know a lot of people are complaining about Danielle Smith coming into the AGM. We showed a video this week talking about Danielle's new Bill of Rights for Albertans. And essentially what that's going to mean for jibby jabs and our freedom to choose moving forward. But a lot of people going into this AGM with Danielle Smith are saying too little, too late. You promised tax breaks when you became prime minister or premier of Alberta. You haven't done those yet. You haven't done really much of anything aside from the Sovereignty Act. You've done nothing to protect us from the federal government. Now, I'm saying what other people have said. I still trust that Danielle is a good leader and she's proper for Alberta, that she's the right thing for Alberta. However, there are a very strong group of people that are very vocal, including influencers online, that are saying Danielle's got to go. She's not doing enough that she said she was going to do. And that, again, is the buyer's remorse I worry about that people might get with Pierre. I've mentioned it before. When Pierre becomes PM, are people going to be willing to give him the time that is necessary to get everything done that he says he's going to do? Because it's not a switch. It doesn't just happen overnight. Granted, having Pierre in office is going to be better than Justin Trudeau. But the question comes around of, are people going to be patient enough? Because they're certainly not patient with Danielle Smith. They're all saying, you promised us tax breaks. You promised us this. You promised us that. There's a surplus in Alberta this year. How come you haven't cut taxes yet? It's not up to one person to cut those taxes. There's a lot that goes into play on those things. NGOs fly these immigrants right over here to the border. Absolutely, they do. Tune of Lee saying it's going to take 2 to 4 years. But that's the question.
It's not going to happen right away.
Zylo chiming in, PP will never say mass deport. He needs votes. That's the problem, is that it's kind of like needing a drug, you know, like it's well, we want to reduce it, but we don't want to hurt our numbers at the same time. You know, we still got to keep up with a little bit so that we can stay ahead of the curve. So this isn't hating on any politician, and it's not saying that, oh, you know, you guys are naive or you're this, that. It's showing the reality that some people are going to expect immediate results that we're not going to get right away.
Absolutely not doable. Like, he won't be able to do it in his first term.
And Danny's saying it'll take 2 generations to fix Canada. Yeah. Yes. It can't happen overnight. The country is in ruin. It's going to take them time and pain to fix. Yes. But that's where I question. Are people... look, this community is fantastic. We have one of the best communities on the platform. Guys, we're almost, speaking of which, at 600 viewers in the live stream.
Get those likes in there.
Get those likes in there. Get those thumbs ups in there. Let's get this stream out to more people. Let's see how packed we can get this room tonight. Because it brings me into Trudeau being a Canadian embarrassment.
100%. It's hard to feel good about being a Canadian because we're a laughingstock.
Well, it's the old saying, I'm proud of my country, ashamed of my leaders.
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau, as everybody has been saying while we're talking about how long it's going to take Pierre to do these things, he's completely dismantled the country. He's broken our financial system. He's broken our stocks. He's broken our dollar value. He's destroyed our home building. He's pumped up immigration to the point where people are in the streets and tents and encampments. He's validated drug use for people and said, bring in illegal narcotics and safe consumption sites for people. When he goes to America, if you watched the actual interview with Stephen Colbert, he gets a roaring applause talking about, well, America just needs the same kind of healthcare that Canada needs. They They need government health care. And everybody cheers and applauds Trudeau because New York's woke. They love Justin Trudeau. But what they don't realize is the damage that comes with an authoritarian prime minister. That Canadians are watching on TV saying, you have no idea the destruction and damage this man has caused. He invoked an emergency act against his own people for protesting him. He froze bank accounts of hardworking Canadians.
Who are still struggling with that.
Still, they're still in court. We have politicians who are commenting saying they're proud of what happened to the Coots 4. They're happy that they're in jail. They did the right thing. It's disgusting. And it's what brings us to the House of Commons this week, with them making a complete mockery out of Justin Trudeau, talking about bathtubs. Trudeau also lets in the IZ members. Yeah. Well, look at the. I'm going to get into the Palestinian protests because I think that's key to get into. Because apparently you can protest in this country as long as you're not protesting the government. Garnet Jennis was called out in the House of Commons this week. Now, I've had Garnet Jennis on the channel, and I've given my opinions about his unprofessionalism and why I think that he could probably be a little more poised when he comes on to interviews and a little more professional. But this week, when Justin's talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, Garnet Jennis makes a comment about Trudeau sharing a copper bathtub in New York. And of course, Greg Fergus shutting down question period and saying that everybody has to apologize, that Justin Trudeau comes out saying these are homophobic remarks. Nobody said there was anything happening in that bathtub. It was just a matter of a figure of speech when you talk about being corrupt.
They hurt his feelings.
Well, they hurt his feelings, but Trudeau has damaged the country so much. We're not talking about policy in the House of Commons. We're not talking about fixing bills for Canadians that put them in office.
House of Commons should never be entertainment to watch, and it really is.
Question period is a form of entertainment in a sense, but it's schoolyard hour. But nonetheless, they should be talking about things that actually affect Canadians, not, oh, you're going to apologize for saying this, or we're going to eject you from saying that. Look at what happened to Pierre when he called Trudeau a wacko.
Yeah.
It's all
childish
these
games.
But Trudeau has reduced the country to a joke that you have to address these things. And people are making jokes about Trudeau. Look at the thumbnail tonight. Those memes are everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Trudeau has made a laughing stock of the country. In fact, I'm going to show you guys his fundraiser event tonight. Because don't forget, Justin Trudeau is going to have an election coming up. Justin Trudeau, breaking, he can't even get into his own fundraiser event due to the large gathering of protesters. Take a look at this.
Here we go. Here we go. Quickly, Chuck.
As you can see, everybody surrounding his vehicles. There they go.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can see Trudeau and his cronies having to flee the scene from their own, as somebody said earlier, Chinese fundraising. he can't go anywhere without getting heckled. I had another video, but it's the same thing. Trudeau getting heckled walking down the street. We've seen it a million times. There's no point in showing it anymore because really we all know what's going on whenever Trudeau goes out in public. The same thing that happens to Jagmeet Singh, unless he's, staging his events like he did when he tried to say, "What'd you say? Huh? You want to say that to my face?"
I'm tough, man.
But it's Snatch pointing out, and it's what I wanted to get onto. Those don't look like Canadian flags to me. Here's the problem in this country is that we currently have protests going on in this country that are for other countries and their nonsense.
Yep.
Palestinians being the biggest contributor to what's happening. I'm going to pull up. This image from the pleb. Maybe he removed it from his Twitter. Here we go. It's a video. Sorry, it's a video. Let's pull up this screen here from the pleb. Let's take a look at this. Here's Muslims, as he puts, Muslims once again blocking busy downtown streets to pray. It's time. This time it's happening in Montreal. What's the point of having hundreds of mosques if they're going to block our roads to pray? Law enforcement allows this. They allow it to go on. They say, well, this is okay. We're going to allow this in our streets. It's their right. But when it comes to the Freedom Convoy and it comes to trucks being in the streets, people protesting the government, well, freeze their bank accounts, trample them with horses. Don't allow it. This is sheer insanity. Part of what I wanted to get into, and I'll share with you guys, is this video that the pleb shared. Because this guy makes a very strong point in his video. Everyday Canadians are beyond fed up with these Palestine protests and all this, hatred in our streets. This Montreal man says what they're all feeling. Let's take a look at this one.
Look at what the Liberals are turning our country into. I just went to Indigo in downtown Montreal. They had to close their business because protesters are standing around outside. And now look at this in downtown Montreal. What country are we in? Are we in Canada or are we in the Middle East? Are we in Canada right now or are we in the Middle East? And look at this. Indigo had to be shut down. They need a heavy police protest. Where are we? Where is our government? This is an absolute disgrace. The Liberal government is an absolute joke. Look at this crap. What country are we in? This is a joke. Look.
It's absolute pandemonium that Justin Trudeau would allow our country to turn into this. They don't care about the protests. In fact, they love them because Justin Trudeau, if you watch any of his platforms when it comes to re-election, he takes the Napoleon route that I've always said, divide and conquer. It's get everybody into their little groups, right? He did it during the COOF. You're dirty or you're clean. You side with science or you're, a terrible person. And he got elected in by fear. It worked for George Bush during 9/11.
Yep.
If you don't vote for me, well, the whole world's going to go to hell. These attacks are going to keep happening. I need to be president again. What was it George Bush always said? If you fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, well, we're just not going to get fooled again. George Bush had some of the funniest quotes next to Joe Biden during the Obama days. But but when it comes to our Canadian elections, Justin Trudeau, of course, will divide as much as he can because it's the easiest way for him to split people up into groups to get the votes that he wants. Why does he want the Palestinian vote? Well, it's quite simple. Look at them flooding the streets in places like Montreal, Toronto.
That's where his numbers are.
Where his numbers need to be. You have to look at the demographics of what's going on here. There's a reason the police aren't shutting these protests down. There's a reason they're not pushing back. Now, if Justin Trudeau were to get elected again in another federal election, we know that's not going to happen, but let's just say happenstance. Justin Trudeau gets the votes he needs in those critical ridings. And they all come from the Palestinian vote. Do you think when that election's over, Justin Trudeau is going to allow them to continue blocking up the streets and protesting? No. Do you know why? Because he got what he needed. He'll shut it all down. And then he'll work for another 4 years to divide everybody else to find a new thing to get people to hate on each other for. This is the new pandemic. This is them saying, we're going to put up with this because it helps our numbers. And that's where people need to take the emotion out of everything. They're always blaming the Jews or they're blaming somebody else. Take those emotions out of it and look at numbers. Look at the political system. Look at how this affects the vote. They're virtue signaling for votes. It's all about demographics, it's about optics, and it's about securing their seats in an election in critical ridings. This has nothing from the river to the sea. It has nothing to do with Gaza. I've got my own views on it. You've got your views. We've said millions of times over. If you're so passionate about what's happening in Palestine, get on a plane, go over there and protest. I don't see anybody running through their streets shutting down
Doing it here doesn't affect
events.
anything.
I don't see people praying in the streets out there. You know why? Because they're not putting up with it. Why is another country's problem our problem when we're in ruin? Why are we giving billions of dollars to money laundering warmongers while we're suffering, while our people can't afford to eat, while we have people in tents, while we have people who are losing their homes, their jobs, their livelihoods? People have nowhere to live. Janet's saying focus on policy. Leave the feeling out of it. It's, if you're going to look at it from a strategical standpoint, look in Toronto. And anytime you're seeing these protests, look at what ridings those protests are happening in. Toronto, and I use it as an example, is a very woke city. You look at Olivia Chow, the installed mayor, and you look at everything that's happening with the protests in Toronto. They're always happening in ridings in certain parts of Toronto where they're typical liberal strongholds. And while Palestinians are protesting Trudeau, the fact that he's not coming back on them being allowed to be in the streets,
He's picking his fight.
He's choosing which hill he wants to die on.
Mm-hmm.
Romanian Patriot, we also don't want Sharia law. That's also my fear. Yeah, it's going to come. Master Snatch, Toronto stand. Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Trudeau's Economy, a $10 super chat. 425 likes. I will donate memberships. LFG. Guys, get those likes in there. Trudeau's Economy, thank you for that offer. I know Trudeau's Economy often comes in with deals like that. We're at 600 viewers, so there's no reason we can't get to 425. If you want to be a member of the Patriots Club or get yourself in the running to be a member of the Patriots Club, get those likes in there. It costs you nothing, folks. Get those thumbs ups in there, and we'll see if you can grab one of those gifted memberships. Danny Glant coming in. All these things are happening to bring down the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
It's all part. What is it? Heath Ledger's Joker says it's all part of the plan. it's just
no, you can't do that one again.
It's all it's it's anytime you see what's happening in the country, you look at the Freedom Convoy, look at the Palestinian protests. I mean, and they're two great comparisons, because in the Freedom Convoy they put a flag on Terry Fox. They said, free Canadians, stop the madness. And it's all you ever hear about, the desecration of Terry Fox when it comes to the Freedom Convoy. Yet this year, Palestinians drape Palestine flags and signs all over Terry Fox's memorial statue in Ottawa. Not a word came out of it. Nobody said that's terrible. Because they don't want to be labeled racist. They don't want to be told that they shouldn't do those things. Because again, Trudeau's picking the hill he wants to die on. It's all about optics. Schemers trying to control their little worlds. Yes, great quote from that movie. It's funny. If you ever want to see a great political view, go and watch The Dark Knight and listen to Heath Ledger's speech about chaos and it all being part of their plan with the schemers. It rings true that whoever wrote that line in the script knows what they're talking about with the real world. And that's one reason why, again, kind of going off the beaten path with comics, I've always liked the Joker, is because
that's one of your favorite movies.
He hates everything for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Christopher Nolan wrote that script. I don't think Nolan directed the movie, but I don't think he wrote the script. Fringe, did you find out why Trudeau visited the mayor of New York? And if his convoy did not add an accident, no one would. I have no idea. That's the first I'm hearing of it. Oh, he wrote the script with his brother. Okay, well, then they're very smart people. I had no idea they wrote the script. Usually they hire somebody else. There was a comment I wanted to get in. I saw it earlier, and now things are... here it is. Calgary, Canada saying, look what Woke Gondek did to the Jewish community last Hanukkah. She snubbed them. Yeah, it's Trudeau's pal too. She said, so again, while Gondek says we're going to do drag time story hour and kids can go and you can get arrested if you say anything negative or go near or within 100 meters of those spaces. But when it comes to Hanukkah, I'm not going to participate because I don't want to offend anybody that's supporting Palestine. Savage silence. I don't recognize my country anymore. We don't either.
No.
This is part of the reason I like doing these live streams, because it's all like-minded individuals that have a place to chat, a place to talk about these things, and to get it all out there. But when it comes to how certain groups are treated, there's going to be a video coming out soon showing a new bill that the NDP are passing. Now, quote me if you've heard this, because this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, marks our national day of where are the bodies?
Monday.
Monday is the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. The NDP are passing a bill in the House of Commons saying that if your opinion is to deny what happened with the residential schools, you can go to jail. So you have to admit what they want you to admit. You have to comply with their beliefs. But if you express them in any way, even where I express them on this channel, where you express them in public,
How is that legal for them to tell you what to think?
none of it's legal. None of it's legal,
So
but they
how
push
is it
for it
going
anyways.
through?
Because the problem with these bills, and the reason I wanted to bring it up, is that a lot of these bills get pushed through the Senate and no parties want to oppose them because, again, it makes them look racist. It makes them look terrible. It's bad for their optics. So it gets through their readings and then it goes to the Senate, because a lot of the parties that are against these bills figure, well, the Senate will definitely poo-poo on it and they'll turn it down because they'll realize it goes against the Constitution of people's freedom of speech. But the Senate's bought and paid for by Justin Trudeau. We already know that. So soon, it's going to be illegal for you to say that you don't believe in what they claim happened at residential schools. What I do believe in is Trudeau's economy gifted 5 unacceptable Fringe memberships to the group. So welcome to all 5 new patrons of the Patriots Club. Thank you so much, Trudeau's economy. Always doing these great things on the channel. I really appreciate your support. I'm speechless. Thank you. It's very humbled. We should all claim them to be heterophobic. There you go. Ingrid Stewart is now one of the proud members of the Patriots Club. Whoever gifted me a membership, thanks for your support. Appreciate that. Soon Bill C-63 is going to pass, and that's going to suck. Yes, I have a video coming up about that one as well. Canada's hiding behind the rainbow flag. Yes, Milo, I agree. Marty coming in saying he wants to use the Emergency Act to stop any elections. That's why he won't quit. Absolutely. Absolutely. DMAC saying it'll be against the law to chat on here one day, and that could very well happen. It all it all seems sussy government. It's it is. And
tinfoil hats.
I know I chuckle, and please, I don't have Clyde syndrome. I'm chuckling because we have to be able to throw in some laughs where it's all dismal. And I get it, because people are always saying, can we please talk about happy things? Can we talk about fun things on the channel? It's always bad news.
Well, unfortunately, politics is very sad and depressing.
Politics is a bit of a shit show right now. I don't know if anybody's noticed. But yes, this is where we got to squeeze the jokes in while we can. Xylo, wait till 293 passes. Again, I'll be covering that one as well. Civil war might be inevitable, and that's part of the problem. Like I've said on this channel a million times, I never condone or push for anybody to do anything violent, anything aggressive. I've always said that part of what makes us Canadian is our ability to stand up for our beliefs while also being civil. But it's getting to a point where I start questioning, are we going to get there?
Mhm.
You can only push an animal so far into the corner before it bites back. And I feel like Canadians are pushed beyond their limits. Lifting the veil of illusion. I left a comment today on Clyde's Discord video and said he's a sellout. Well, I mean, that's your opinion.
We're leaving that one alone.
I'm leaving that one alone. We're not going to get into drama on the channel. I find it funny that Clyde reached out to some of the people he kicked out of his Discord, tried to mend his bridges this week. While everyone had a good laugh at that one because, you know, he gave everybody the finger, and now he's desperate. Shows what happens when you don't treat your friends properly. Lens of the Seven Lakes. If you line a headband with aluminum foil, it reduces subliminal messages emitted from your Wi-Fi router. Well, if those, but here's the problem: some of those subliminal messages might be coming from unacceptable fringe. So don't use too much tinfoil, just enough to get out everybody else. That's okay. Let's see. I know everybody's throwing in their Clyde comments. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I took my shot. We're not gonna get it in anymore.
No.
Listen, it was just desserts this week. We all had a laugh at the desperation. It was funny. Yeah. Sending messages no more.
No more beaver poking.
There we go. Okay, well, we're not going to make this a Clyde bashing session. T. Rich, did you sell your house? No. Here's the problem. Calgary, here's one thing that blows my mind with Calgary. We talked to our realtor this week in our entire south neighborhood, like not just our specific neighborhood, but the south quadrant that we're in. There hasn't been a single house sale in over a month. A single house, not just ours.
Going on 3 weeks now.
It's three and a half weeks to a month that we're seeing that there hasn't been a single home sale in our neck of the woods. So it's not our pricing. It's not our house that's the problem.
It's just absolutely dead.
What the realtor had said was with the Bank of Canada's rate drop, it sometimes takes the banks a few weeks to get caught up. He thinks that in October, we'll see another little push for anybody who's waiting just before winter to try and get the best rate. We may see some more action. Regardless, look, we lost the house that we put the bid on in Spruce Grove, and that's okay, because what was really funny is the realtor who had that house put his foot in his mouth because he said, well, if their house hasn't sold yet, then he says their price is too high, at which point our realtor said, well, no houses have sold, so I guess all their prices are too high. But she also reminded him his house hasn't sold yet either, and it's been on the market just as long as ours. So should we sell the house fast enough that that house is still available and we make another offer, boy, did he put his foot in his mouth. We're just going to get it at a better deal. But there's plenty of houses there that we've seen that we like, that we're still going to move one way or another. It doesn't end the deal with us. We're still going to Spruce Grove. It's just a matter of when.
When and where.
Move to Brandon, Manitoba. I love Brandon. I've got family. I've said it before. My mother grew up in Wawanesa. I've got family all around Souris, Carmen, Brandon, Wawanesa, Treeherne, Holland, Manitoba. Yes, they're from Holland. Isn't that weird? I love Manitoba, but I love visiting.
I don't love Manitoba.
My wife can't get over the heat in the summertime
and the cold
in the winter. It's we just can't do it. It's my husband Charles and I are sending you and Tiffany both a hug for all your hard work and to make our community here the best ever. Ingrid, I thank you for that.
Thank you, Ingrid.
We do have one of the best communities on this
Yes,
platform.
100%.
We're growing at an exponential rate. I'm really hoping we can hit 50,000 subs by the end of October. This channel has just been doing milestone after milestone lately. So big thank you to everybody who's contributed to joining us on that journey, just by being here, by watching the content every day that drops on the channel, the thumbs up, the comments, helping push it out there. These are all things that don't cost you any money, and I appreciate you guys being here. It's It's great. I really appreciate it. I'm very humbled with what we've accomplished. And now adding you to the fold.
I think I'm the best part.
You are indeed the best part. At least for me, I don't have to sit away from my wife on Fridays. So this is great.
True.
It's good to have you here. And I know we're going to get you a little more involved in the streams once we get our new place, once we get a studio built where we can have multiple cameras, where we can have multiple mics going at the same time. It's going to be great, guys. As soon as we get the house sold again, we're getting into all of that. Sean coming in, rumors Trudeau will have another emergency to delay the election. Also, he wants to raise his polling. So when he rigs the election, it's
believable. Oh Lord.
Yeah. Well, I've heard the same too. Bad anger management, my brother chiming in, Tiff's the best part until we're neighbors.
Until we're neighbors? And then I suck again? Is that what you're saying?
It's funny. I'm not going to get into it on stream. We'll get into this in privately. Danny saying Mrs. Fringe is definitely a great addition. I'm glad. There was a lot of controversy when we talked about it because you said we didn't want to look like we're ripping off Northern Perspective. We don't want to look like we're trying to be like every other channel. It was just something fun because I think you've got a lot to say. I think we have a good dynamic.
And I stop you rambling a little bit.
You
do. I think it helps.
You ground me pretty good. And again, we have big plans when we move. Part of the benefit to this new house that we purchased, it's going to be an undeveloped basement, which means I can build the studio we want in the space that we need, and we can get the equipment we need, and we can have hopefully a grade A show for you guys that isn't the two of us crammed up at a desk like this, where it's more
squished up.
I can't stand sitting next to you after 2 decades of marriage. It's I'm just joking. But I think we're going to put together a real quality show for you guys, and I'm really looking forward to those days. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to having that with you guys. Canada RV saying, I'm glad you added her to the show. That's great.
Stripper pole for Derek.
Stripper pole? Oh, no. Hell no.
Yes, and 6-inch heels.
Wishful thinking. Maybe we'll get a bathtub and some Diddy baby oil, and we can get a cutout of Trudeau in there while we're doing the shows.
And we could get a picture of you and with him.
I'll sit in the bathtub. It'll be funny. It'll be a funny stream. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, as we wind down, let's get in our Q&A. If you guys have any Q&As you want to throw in the chat, now's a good time to do it. John, no, this isn't OnlyFans. I will not be doing that by any means, but Salvage for the $2 super chat. Don't forget, ring the bell. Absolutely. Hit your bell for notifications, folks. Everything you guys do on this channel, again, I can't thank you enough. And thank you to our community who's in here. Yeah, so if you guys want to get your questions in and for any Q&A, I'll get to what we can. And then we'll start to wrap things up. Would love for you to come and visit the Spruce Grove Fire Department, says Morgan. I'll make an arrangement to do something.
That would be fun.
The people of Spruce Grove and around the Edmonton area have been so welcoming since the announcement that my wife and I are going to move there. We're going to try and put together some kind of night where we're somewhere in Spruce where people can come and meet. We'll go to the fire hall. Maybe we'll bring the kids. But we'll do something at a place where we can meet in public, where we can sign books, take pictures with people, meet you in person, have chats.
We were thinking of doing a goodbye here in Calgary.
We'll do a goodbye thing in Calgary before we leave Calgary for anybody who's around the Calgary area who wants to, again, get their stuff signed or photos. We'll get to that. Daphne asking again, who won September's hoodie? Daphne, I'm going to remind everybody again. We're going to do those draws as soon as we move. So I'll be doing a September draw once we move. And then every month that we've missed up until we move, just because, again, with the house on the market, even though we haven't sold yet, I can't order these hoodies because should we sell the house while they're on order, it takes between 3 weeks to a month for them to arrive, for me to ship them out. So I don't want to order them and then we move and then I can't get a hold of them and they're lost in mail trying to get it forwarded to our new address and everything. So we will be drawing for every month that we've missed on a certain stream once we're done with the move. So again, if we've missed 3 months,
and everybody who's joined in since then as well,
we do have a list.
They're all going to be included.
So even if you're not a member at the time of the draw, if you were a member when this month was happening, we do have lists of all members. Everyone will be accounted for. So if we moved by, say, December, we would do on a December show, a December draw, a November, October, and September draw. So keep your ears to the wheel.
Well.
We will get everybody covered in those draws. But it is coming. It is coming. Let me find some more Q&A in here because I know people have been putting. I've seen question marks. Savage saying Jagmeet looked terrified when a certain reporter asked him questions earlier. Why? Well, his job's done. I've often said it when you look at the block and their carrot on the stick right now, threatening an election if Trudeau doesn't give them what they want, and I don't think he's going to. I think Trudeau's going to call their bluff. Jagmeet made the biggest mistake of all. He showed Trudeau his cards. He signed that agreement.
He took a break for the whole 3 days. We were on a break.
It's his time's up. Cher saying when you're moving, as soon as we sell the house.
Yeah. So if you want to buy a house,
if you want to buy a house in Calgary, it is a great house.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with our house. It's just that we wanted small town life. This channel is seemingly unaffiliated with mainstream mind control, says Lands of the Seven Lakes. We try. Ingrid saying, I have an idea for next week's show. We need a pizza and politics night. Well, hey, maybe we can do something like that.
Yes.
Daphne, don't apologize. It's no problem. It's a good question to ask, and it's good to get out there so that everybody understands. I don't want anybody to think
we have a lot of new people this week. So
I don't want anybody thinking that we're giving them the 1-2 on things.
No.
Again, this is the hoodie that I am wearing that we will be giving away. It is embroidered. It's high quality.
Very good.
None of this stitching is going to come out. That's one thing I didn't like about our current hoodies is that once you wear them in, they can fade.
You wash them, they peel a little bit
or
whatever.
Well, they don't peel, but they fade over time.
Fade, yeah.
So I wanted to get an embroidered hoodie for everybody to purchase, but they're just so bloody expensive through who we're using.
So it's much better for a draw.
This way we can make them exclusive.
Yeah.
We give them out on a draw. They're very comfortable and very high quality. So I'm looking forward to giving those away. As John says, the Fringe hoods are coming. Yes, they are. Trudeau's a commie with a $10 super chat. Would love to see live Mrs. Fringe Saturday mornings. Well, I don't think you're going to get that because she has 3 children crawling all over her every Saturday morning. It's
not a sight that anybody wants to see.
Danny asking, have you found Randy? We've been looking. We haven't found Randy anywhere. There's been a few Randys on this channel, but not the Randy we're looking for. Are the kids excited about moving? I think so.
They are. Yeah, they're excited for a change. I mean, sadly enough, there's not a lot here in Calgary that's really keeping them here.
If you look at the COVID days, our kids missed out a lot of time to interact and build their social connections. And part of what we see in the schools now is that anytime kids have problems communicating with each other, they segregate the kids now.
The victim.
The victim.
Not
they segregate.
the
Yeah, they let the bully get on with things, but they segregate the victim. Yeah. I know my kids are looking forward to being in a smaller town, smaller classrooms, better start, new fresh start. Being the new kid's never a bad thing, especially at their age. What else do we have for questions here? If a Christmas election comes, do you think Jag and Justin will step down after they lose miserably? I've heard rumor that Justin is refusing to step down if he loses the election.
Too high on himself. Why would he?
But we'll see what happens. Again, I don't count anything till it's in writing. I think Trudeau at that point.
I think the only way he would is if he didn't have a choice.
It's once he isn't prime minister, the rules that say they're not allowed to vote Trudeau out are obsolete. So I'm willing to bet the party would just kick him to the curb after that.
He's got enough government money that he's saved up. His pockets are full. He doesn't care.
And Allison chiming in saying it would cost $16 billion to give the bloc what they want, and that's part of the reason I don't think Trudeau's going to do it.
Yeah.
Cher saying I'm excited for your new journey. I want to meet you guys. Absolutely, Cher. If you're in that area, we'll organize an event. We'll try and get something together because a lot of people have been so welcoming and so inviting. By saying, we live near there. Welcome to this neck of the woods.
It's exciting because we really don't know anybody where we're moving. So,
have we covered the Spongeworthy situation yet? Well,
I think you mentioned it like very, very briefly.
Very briefly. I mean, look, we all know what Trudeau's doing. He's in the closet. He's coming out of the closet.
Maybe that's what the whole divorce was about.
Kathy saying, isn't Edmonton working on being the first 15-minute city? That's what I heard. I've heard the same. Again, we're not moving to Edmonton. No. I'm going to be outside of Edmonton. Spruce Grove is a very conservative stronghold town. Very conservative views. And again, I think that's part of what's moving us there is they don't mess around. Darren Ellis with the 279 super chat, kind of new. How do you join as a member? There is a button down below, below the subscribe button. I've heard on some phones you can't see it. You might have to go on to a computer platform, but it does say join next to your subscribe button. You can hit that join button. That brings you into becoming a Patriots Club member. Let me see if I can find any more questions. Do you think the bloc will surprise non-confidence on Monday? I don't think Monday. I think, again, they gave until October 27th, I believe, for Trudeau to come forward. We'll see what happens, I guess. It's your guess is as good as mine. What do we have here? Are there any more questions? I see a lot of people saying go Oilers, and again, talking about the move. That's fantastic. If the world ended in a week, where would you travel to? I'd go to Tanzania. I don't really know. I'd probably go to Winnipeg and say goodbye to friends and family.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what does our bank account say we can move? We can travel to?
I'd go to Vegas and put it all on black because I don't want to be racist. Did we pay for the ring he gave RuPaul? I'm willing to bet. Yeah,
He gave RuPaul a ring?
probably. I've heard rumor. I didn't see it. I saw the sponge, but
What?
yep.
Okay, I missed this.
I saw the sponge, but I heard rumor there was some kind of ring in there. Again, I think it's just a joke. Darren saying, I'm still in Spruce Grove. Let me know when you're moving here, Darren. Absolutely. Again, I can't wait to get there. I'm looking forward to it. We pushed back in Edmonton. 15-minute city is delayed for now. Good to know. That's good to know.
I know all the new neighborhoods here in Calgary, they're kind of starting with the 15-minute city.
They're implementing certain
Yeah.
things that get you definitely noticing it's coming. Bloc will likely call an election in a couple of weeks. I think so as well. The problem with the Bloc is that they're poised to be the next opposition because the Liberals may actually not have party status after the next election if things are going to go the way that they are saying they're going to go. Somebody asking what happened to Chris Sky. I have no idea. What's with the thumbnail? Is that projecting? No. People said Trudeau was sharing a bathtub with Marcon. I mean, that's
It was disgusting question period this week.
Derek, have you contemplated RV life? No, because I have 3 small kids. I wouldn't do that to them.
We can't even do them with the house now. Like,
yeah, the house, we need more room. Our kids are very energetic. They need space.
they could have tents outside.
We could start a tent city
We could.
in our yard with our children. That'd be fun. People say they love the meme. That's funny. Dave saying, gotta love your honesty, Derek. I watch every day. I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you so much. Tracy saying, I think we're safe for the 15-minute cities here in rural Saskatchewan. Takes 40 minutes for me to get to the closest town. There you go. Have you considered a farm? I have. Again, it's the prices. My wife, again, with her work, she works in the oil and gas sector. She needs a bigger city to get to for work. So again,
and find a job.
It's yeah. So from the working aspect for the wife,
yeah,
we still got to be close to a city, but we want to be as far away as we can while still making it, somewhat livable.
Yep.
For us, it was a lot of, again, sports for the kids was more affordable in places like Spruce Grove than it is in Calgary.
And surrounding areas. We did look in surrounding
we did look.
areas.
We looked
It
in
just
surrounding
wasn't
areas.
livable.
We just really fell in love with Spruce Grove. We really liked what they had to offer. Spruce Grove, Stony Plain. I know it's only a traffic light that separates the two, but very, very gorgeous
Love
towns.
them, yeah.
Looking forward to being out there. Looking forward to meeting every one of you that wants to meet us as soon as we get out there and building a bigger community. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to everybody who joined our stream tonight, everybody for the super chats, all the membership gifting. Let's go over it again. Canadian guy with his super chats, Romanian Patriot with his super chats tonight. Thank you so much. Sean Gao with his super chats as well. RC Lamoureux with the $5 super chat. No message. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Daphne Divine gifting out 5 memberships tonight. Thank you so much. Chris Accurate with his super chats tonight. Thank you so much. Trudeau's Economy gifting out memberships tonight with super chats. Again, appreciate that. Savage Silence with their super chats. Darren Ellis with a super chat tonight as well. Thank you so much to everybody who threw in tonight's stream. That's very, very appreciative, and I appreciate each and every one of you that came out and just gave a thumbs up on the stream. Keep your eyes peeled for content coming out this weekend and this week here on the channel. If you're not notified videos are dropping, just remember I do drop them minimum Monday to Friday every day here on the channel. So make sure to come back and check out the videos. Make sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment in there. It helps us greatly. The kids are starting to invade.
We've been found.
We're going to sign off. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there. Watch out for your government. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care, everyone.